Hello again, everyone. Age of June here, and we're back into the League of Legends Shoutcast. I actually caught Crumbzz streaming at the moment. Fun Frock here is actually Crumbzz. Looks like he on a fairly new account for this season, and he's actually streaming at the moment. It's Challenger. I was like, hey, let's go ahead and cast one of his games. I haven't cast one of his in a long time, so actually, if ever, I don't know. But he's got the new Cho'Gath icon, which is kind of funky. Not sure I really like it, but I don't know that I really hate it either, so... All in all, that's fine. So, we'll see what ends up happening there. It looks like he is going to be a jungle Cho'Gath, which is not really something you see much of. Right now, anyway. I mean, used to, I saw it a decent amount, but I haven't seen it in a really long time. But, gonna see it this time, and you never know, maybe we'll see it in the LCS next season, although so many changes are going to happen between now and then. Pretty much anything happening right now is kind of out of... Really, it doesn't matter. But it's possible he's just practicing it now so he can go ahead and try it then. I don't know, we'll have to see. So, wow, he got chunked pretty hard. We're going to have an Akali in the top lane, played by Darshan. Going to be against... I guess it would be the Jace that got chunked out there, played by Jamie. Yeah, it looks like he is indeed headed up there. Veigar, of course, is going to be mid, played by Strompest, and he's going to be against the Caston here, played by R. Matlife. Veigar's going back. Alright. He's going to go back to buy something, I guess. What's he going to get? I guess he just got another potion or something, I don't know. Anyway, down to the bot lane, we've got Corki, played by Lincoln Park Fan 53. Very nice, very nice. Tristana's played by Faxon. The supports, we've got Zilean, played by, is that Lopally? Which is probably low pally. Imagine that. Lucidity playing Thresh. Ooh, nice shot. And the junglers, we've got Crumbzz, like I mentioned, playing Cho'Gath, against Warwick, played by Benin Sentinel. So both of them started fairly normal here. Cho'Gath started red just to make sure he doesn't get invaded. That's fairly normal as well. And then we actually have Warwick starting in the blue. We'll see if there's any invades happen. Honestly, I kind of doubt it. Neither of these champions is honestly that big on invades. Warwick, you know, he doesn't really want to do much until 6. He can invade, because he does have that sustain from his Q. But, honestly, I find it pretty unlikely. We'll see, though. We'll see. Up the top lane, I would imagine early game, it's going to go really well for Jace. And so far it has. He's level 2, she's level 1. She's having a pretty tough time so far, but it is actually getting pressed toward her. So she's going to be able to get a lot of the CS once it gets under the tower range. He's not going to be able to do too much to stop it. He'll be able to stop it some, of course, because, you know, he'll be able to go ahead and use his Q? Yeah, Shock Blast. He'll be able to use the Shock Blast to go ahead and harass her some, but even still, she'll be able to fairly safely CS, and we do see that's what she's doing. She's only 3 behind him at the moment, and a lot of that is because she just hasn't killed those minions yet, so she's actually not doing too poorly at all. And again, like I said, neither side did any sort of invade. Warwick just finished off his red, and Cho'Gath just finished off his blue. That is a tiny Cho'Gath. Holy crap. Gonna get picked up by that ward there. So, Warwick can see this invade. Warwick's actually coming over here to go in on the Jace, however. Gets knocked back. Does not... Actually, I think the Q did land, which did end up slowing him down. Out comes the slow there from Akali as well. I think Jace is probably going to be able to get out of this. He's going to take a lot of damage, but he's going to be able to get out. Yeah, he got chunked down to about a quarter of his health, but he's still okay. And now he's getting some harassment. Akali jumps for her, actually. Flashes even. He's not escaping this. And Warwick's coming in from behind him. I don't know why he decided to do that, because now he's dead. That was insane. I guess he thought he'd be able to go ahead and burst her down before she could do anything. But the fact of the matter is, you knew that Warwick was there. You just saw him. Yeah, she's low. And I guess he figured she'd take some damage there from that. But still... It seemed like a really bad idea. Ooh, is Veigar gonna die? Veigar did die. Blue champion executed. It doesn't say who anymore. Well, it did. It shows up there. I would think it'd be easier just to say Veigar. Whatever. Champion has been executed either way. So Veigar decided to spend a little bit of time overextending there, trying to chase down this Caston, who did force him off of lane. But unfortunately, he did it in such a way that the minions ended up losing out there. And the tower switched to him instead. So he ended up dying, which is giving this Caston time to free farm. We've got Crumbzz coming in for a gank. Not really going to do too much, though. He doesn't have red buff, so he's not getting the slow here. Caston's able to get a decent amount of harass, and if... Oh, man. This may be the end of Crumbzz. Oh, nice! In goes the Vigar, flashes for it. Cassidy does actually somehow get the... What was ticking on it? Did he ignite him? No. Well, what was ticking? Oh, I bet it was the minions. Minions are still hitting him right now. There we go. Yeah, it was that last minion hit. Blue caster minion OP actually was able to go ahead and secure that kill there for Cassidy, which is great for him. Vigar's pretty happy as well, because he did get a kill out of it, but he definitely would have been a whole lot happier had the death not occurred. But it does mean that once Cassidy comes back again, Vigar will be able to go ahead and pressure him like mad, of course. He's farming up that Q naturally. Not much has happened down bot lane so far. It looks like the red team's had to play somewhat cautious. A nice hook lands, though, onto Low Pally. Getting low, forced to flash. And he's doing what he can to go ahead and hit them with his bombs. And actually chunked them down pretty hard. He does have potions as well, but not enough, really. So he's going to have to play it very safe now. If another hook hits, he's probably going to die. Did dodge that one. We've got Vigar coming in here for a gank. Gonna be able to land it. In comes the meteor and pretty much everything else, and she just insta-died. Nice gank there from Vigar. Nice placing of the wall there, too. That back animation. Alright, in the meantime, though, they did give Cassidy the opportunity to go ahead and farm up here and hit 6 as well, which means he could start roaming 2. He does go in on the Cho'Gath immediately. Crumbzz is forced to back off. And gonna be able to secure this farm, as well as make sure that it actually pushes towards his Vigar, which means Vigar's gonna get a little extra farm, which is great for him. Cassidy's on the way down. These guys are really low. If they don't watch out, they're dead, because Cassidy has a lot of burst. In he goes. Nice heal, though. Very nice indeed. And forced them back. Tristana just about dead. One hit's gonna kill her. I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it does, she's dead. In comes the Cho'Gath. Nice lantern. Gets her out of there safely, though. And that ends up being a wasted roam there for the Cassidy. It did some harass and everything, but even still, it wasn't all that great. And these guys were able to go ahead and farm up after he left, because Tristana took so much damage from that engagement, because she jumped right into the tower, that they were able to do whatever they wanted after she left. Now she's able to farm up because she did actually go ahead and heal up, but honestly, she's still 20 CS behind. So she's got a lot of catching up to do as it is. Jace is on his way back up there. He is still ahead on CS. And then he's 0-1-1 versus a 1-1-0 Akali. So he's having a pretty good time as well. Akali came down, possibly thinking about going for a gank. Looks like she decided against it, though. Picked up by that pink ward, and she does not even know. So left it there, did not end up taking it out. Warwick, it looks like, is coming in for a gank of his own. That Vigar, yeah, nice ultimate there from Warwick, and that is a dead Vigar. He does manage to land the stun there. Unfortunately, it's not really enough because Cassidy didn't have his ult. Immediately ulted in and finished him off there. So a very nice gank, though, from Warwick coming in from behind. No wards here at all from the Vigar. He's got up here warded instead. I think that's his ward anyway. And unfortunately, that means he was completely vulnerable to that gank there. We've got an MIA ping coming in from Cassidy up top. Cho'Gath has no idea. Actually, he does have an idea because that pink ward did end up walking right over it. He saw it, though. So he's going to go ahead and take it out. And looks like he's going to go ahead and head back. Lots of damage coming in from Akali onto Jace. He's forced to go ahead and back off, and he's actually got a decent amount of damage onto her as well. Cho'Gath is up here, not picked up by a ward, and he's going to circle around behind her. She has no wards whatsoever, so she's definitely in a precarious position. In he comes, going to go ahead and pop up there. She jumps to him, though. She gets silenced, and then, of course, the ignite from the Jace, as well as the accelerated engage shock blast, was enough to go ahead and finish her off. So that is a kill there for Jace. Jace is now on the board for kills, as well as the assist he previously had, and that's going to give him even more of a lead. The Warwick is up here, but he's not going to be able to do too much, given the fact that he just used his ultimate down in the mid lane. Vigar still pressed forward. He's having a pretty good time, though. He's not really too worried. Going to go ahead and get all that CS, and possibly do a nice amount of harass there to that Cassidy, who jumps out at him, wants to get some harass back, and he definitely did that. Vigar's got to watch out because he's getting chunked pretty low. Akali actually managed to go ahead and finish off Jace there. Looks like she teleported in. There we go. The Warwick was able to give vision of the Jace there, and Jace actually turned around just to get that auto attack onto the tower to make sure that he got the gold as well. Wanted to be in range, that way he at least got something out of the deal. He knew he was going to die. Meantime, Cassian has actually managed to go ahead and just kidding, almost take down the Veigar, and Veigar said, ha, no. Veigar turned it around, and that is a dead Cassian. I'll admit, I really thought that was going to be a dead Veigar with absolutely nothing, but he was able to use that ultimate and just destroy that Cassian. One more, I think, had that ultimate, which Cassian had actually already cast. Had that gone through, he actually probably would have ended up dying, but it did not. In they go on low pally again, pull him under the turret range. He ults himself, though. He's going to be fine. They're not going to have the pull up or the flay. So he ends up coming back to life at 3/4 health with really no problem. But it looks like the Akali came down here for a gank onto Veigar. He definitely overstayed his welcome a little bit. And she just walked right in, jumped right to him. And yeah, he's not really able to do too much at all. Down he goes. He thought he was going to be smart and go ahead and shove this forward to make Cassian miss all the CS. He did that, but unfortunately for him, that also resulted in Akali getting a kill, which is a pretty bad thing. A fed Akali is not something you want to deal with. Another grab comes out there from Thresh, trying to land onto that Zilean. It did not end up landing, though, and we've got the red team going for the dragon over here. They're going to be able to take this because there's really nobody on the field for the blue team that can go ahead and contest. We've got Crumbzz. Where is Crumbzz, actually? Oh, Crumbzz is hiding down here. That's where he is. Ready to counter gank, but unfortunately it'd be a 5 versus 3 if this ends up going on. And there we go, they're coming in. Crumbzz is hanging around. That actually was enough to force them back on the plus side for them. It forced the red team back because they knew we could take down 2 under tower. We're not going to take down 3. And Crumbzz actually just goes ahead and pops up the Akali there, which is giving Jace a ton of time up here. He's going to be able to take down this tower. So very nicely done there by the Cho'Gath. Honestly, I don't think the Akali would have been able to get there anyway. But even still, that's actually really well done because she's still trying to get back. She finally got back just now, and she just missed a lot of farm to her inhib turrets, which it's definitely not something you want. Also, these guys were down here for so long, and they had to back off, of course, because they were so low. That lost them another tower. Blue team's headed to Dragon, which is already gone. But honestly, they just traded 2 towers for a Dragon. I actually think that's going to be worth it in this particular build. Next season? Next season, it might not be that. Next season, they're going to be changing the way Dragon works. It's not going to give gold anymore. Well, that's their current plan. We'll see if it ends up lasting to the actual season. But with the current plan, they're not going to be giving gold for Dragon anymore. Instead, it's going to be a stacking buff that gives you more and more as time goes on. So it's more of a decision process. Do we want Dragon to go for the late game for those stacks, or do we want to go ahead and shove down towers now and get our power spike now? Nice wall by the Veigar. The flash from Warwick didn't even matter because Veigar was able to completely just shut that gank down with that wall and ended up making Warwick waste a flash. Not something you want to see as the Warwick, for sure. Down the bot lane, we've got Tristana kind of pressing in here on Corki, but Zilean's coming in, and Tristana's forced to go ahead and jump out pretty much immediately, which is going to give Corki the time to go ahead and grab up all this CS. Thresh is roaming around, warding up as much as he can. And then, of course, we've got Veigar, who's actually pretty low on mana. Still just hanging around here to go ahead and grab up set CS. Oh, puts the bombs on Tristana, and she's like, oh. Actually got chunked pretty low there between the bomb and the Wraith, and now it's resetting. Yeah, she's still going to be able to get it down, though. We've got a gank coming in from Cho'Gath onto the Cassian here. Forced to go ahead and jump away. Veigar didn't even come over. He knew it wasn't really worth it, but now it is. And they go onto that Cho'Gath. Nice stun from Veigar, saving him from the Warwick ult. He's still, ulted by the Zilean, so he's going to be okay. Now he goes down, though, finally. That is a killing spree for the Akali. That's a pretty bad thing. The Veigar says, help me, please. And they are indeed on the way up, but the Warwick got ahead and zoned that Zilean out. Corki's way too far back to do anything, and now Akali's just going hard mode here onto that Veigar. Got him to flash, but she just took a lot of tower shots. She jumps in He's able to go ahead and burst her down with his ultimate, though. And that ended up being a dead Akali, as well as the Veigar. But that's a shutdown for the Veigar. He just got a ton of gold. In the meantime, Jason's up here pushing because she's not here to counter it. And he's got the damage to go ahead and take down this tower. It's probably going to end up going down. There's nobody even close. Thresh is there, but that's not going to be too big of a deal. Yeah, he's going to be able to take this down. One more shot. There we go. It goes down, and he acceleration gates out of it, shunts that Thresh back. He is trying to get out of this. Akali's on her way up, though. If this Thresh can toss a lantern, that'll be a dead Jace. But he's doing pretty well here at just walking away from Thresh. He's probably going to get grabbed once. Dodges the grab immediately. And, oh, he's turned it around. He's going for that Thresh. Thresh goes down. Akali comes in to finish him off. He flashes over the wall. She gets vision, though, with that Shroud and is actually able to go ahead and jump to him. But even still, he turned that into a tower and a kill for a kill. So that's definitely worth it, in my opinion. And I would say in his as well. He also did blow a flash, but honestly, that's kind of okay. That's kind of worth it. In the meantime, these guys are shoving up this mid to possibly go ahead and take down this tower. Veigar getting those stacks of his Q. Take a look at his AP here. He's currently at 224 AP. Pretty dangerous. He's going to be able to get even more. Bot lane, Cassian is actually down there. He went ahead and roamed and just split pushing at the moment. He's not really able to do too much mid, but these guys are, and of course he's able to do a decent amount of bot. So why not go down there? And that's exactly what he did. He's doing a decent amount. He's catching up with the CS now. 86, 86. They're actually exactly even here, which is great news for them. Jace on his way up to save the tower from these minions. And actually going to be able to get pretty much all of them. I believe he missed 2 minions out of that, and that's definitely good. But Warwick and Akali are here. In goes the Warwick ult, and that is a dead Jace. Almost instantly there. Honestly, there really wasn't much he could do about it. He did not expect them to be hiding out in that bush. And unfortunately for him, they were doing just that. They're going to be able to get this tower, unless these guys are able to get here soon enough. I don't see it happening, as they are a little bit too slow for that. Yeah, they're going to be able to take down this tower, but it may result in a death for them. In comes the Veigar. Nice stun. Gonna burst down Warwick, actually. Akali's hanging around, but she's in her shroud, so they're not going to be able to do too much. And, oh, never mind, she's dead. Decided to try to go for a kill. Not going to end up working. Down she goes to Veigar, actually. And a little bit longer, it would have gone to the Zilean. And that is another shutdown that Veigar got the gold for. Veigar is getting dangerous. He's got his DFG now, and of course that allows him to burst nearly instantly with that plus his ult. You're going to have a bad time if he fights you. Dragon is back up, and we see the blue team actually going for it this time. They are on their way down. Locker of the Iron Solari comes out from somebody. Warwick. So he's trying to negate some of that Cho'Gath. Actually, a lot of damage, because all of these guys, actually I think even Jace, I think all of them do a decent amount of magic damage. So Locker of the Iron Solari is actually going to be pretty darn good there. It's going to hurt versus definitely the Cho'Gath, Veigar, Corki, and Zilean, all of them. Surprisingly large amount of damage comes out from Corki's magic damage. I originally didn't realize, but it definitely is. Wow, she got hit hard. We're going to go ahead and back off there. The blue team got a lot of what they wanted there. The top lane is shoving for them, and the mid lane they should be able to defend by themselves without having to worry too much about the enemy getting their tower. So they're all in all pretty happy. It's 5 towers to 1, and they are about 4k up in gold. So that's pretty much exactly the place you want to be in. They don't know exactly how far ahead they are, of course, but they know they're pretty darn far ahead, given the fact that they've got 5 towers to 1 of the enemy. And that Tristana's getting really low. Gotta watch out for this Jace. Jace gets grabbed, though, by the Thresh, and he's gonna end up going down. Just kidding. Gets ulted by Zilean. Gonna be forced to run away. In goes the Warwick, and gets shunted immediately. Down goes the Jace right after that ulti from Zilean goes down. So, ends up being a lot of kills here, 2 for each. Right now, the fight still goes on. Cho'Gath doing his best to peel for Corki. And Tristana jumps for it. She does manage to go and finish him off. The Tristana as well jumps away. Cassidy went down. Again, that's a kill for a kill, and now they're going for Thresh. Thresh getting really low here. I think they're going to be able to finish him off. Down he goes. That is a killing spree now for the support Zilean. Tristana, the only one left. She's going to end up dying too. There is a bomb by Zilean. I think no, it's not going to be enough to finish her off. Almost, but not quite. If he put a ward over there, he'd probably go ahead and kill her. But that's okay. That's okay. Red team got their tower kill during that, thanks to the minion pushes. They didn't get the extra gold from being there. So that's definitely going to benefit the blue team a bit. But still helped them a lot, and they still have a wave going. So the blue team's forced to react and come down here. The red team probably knows it as well. They know somebody's going to head down there. They're not going to be able to get down there to, fight them or anything. If they tried, they'd probably end up walking somewhere through a ward, and that person would know. End up setting up for a counter gang, and then bad things would happen. But it does mean that they have somewhat of a 4 versus 5 up here for the moment. So they're having a pretty good time. Jace is hanging around, though. Gonna actually just hit the acceleration gate on a minion there. Almost gets grabbed by Thresh, but not really, because he's able to go ahead and kite that out with no problem. The Cassian's hanging out on a ward here. If he doesn't watch out, he's gonna die. Vigar's coming around to go ahead and gate him. Tries to bait the gate, just jumps away, expecting that Vigar was about to gate. Didn't end up happening, and just used his ulti. But again, it's Cassian, so what's he care about the ulti? Corki is actually done pushing that bot lane, so he's on his way up here. It's back to a 5 versus 5. On the plus side of the red team, they've definitely narrowed that gap of gold. They are now down about 2k, a little bit less, but that's a pretty big change from what it was before. That little fight there in their jungle really did them a lot of good. And by their jungle, I mean like right here, which is not their jungle at all. But whatever, doesn't matter. Does not matter. Blue buff goes over to Jace, interestingly. Not going to give it to Vigar. I'm surprised with that. Stun gate lands on Kassadin, but interestingly, he's able to get out. Out comes the ulti, and down goes the Kassadin. That was actually kind of cool to see. So, whee, boom. And that means they are going to get some damage onto this tower. Not going to be able to finish it quite yet. Jace is doing what he can to continue harassing with his shockwave and acceleration gate. But gonna be able to force them back. This is going to be another tower down by the blue team. And Jace is continuing to zone this red team. Just using that acceleration gate and shockwave. Even just the shockwave itself. Out comes the stun from Vigar. That's going to be a dead Warwick as well. The kill goes to Zilean. Low Pally getting fed this game. And that's going to be a dead in him. Thresh lands the grab on Cho'Gath. Not exactly what you want. Out comes the gate again onto that Kassadin. Forced to go ahead and jump out of it. They are going to go ahead and force this blue team to back off. But blue team's headed down bot immediately because they've got a huge minion wave down here. They're going to go for another tower, and they're probably going to be able to get it. Tristana kind of zoning them, and she may be able to clear this out enough because they did actually kind of kite around a little bit there. The gate comes down from the Vigar. Does not end up hitting anybody, though. And the blue team on the run a little bit here. Jace getting engaged on by Akali. He goes back in, though. And Akali jumps using the lantern. Still ends up going down. And they do manage to pull the Cho'Gath in, who gets Zilean ulted, so he's going to live through this. Jace gets stunned under the tower, though, so he finally ends up going down. Thresh did not end up landing his grab there. Neither did Vigar land his stun. But they're definitely going to be able to get this tower now. 100% this tower's going down, and they may be able to shove forward and do some damage to the inhib tower. I kind of doubt it. It looks like Corki and Cho'Gath are headed back. And Vigar just keeping that Kassadin on his toes a little bit here. Gonna head back though soon. In the bush, probably a good idea. Was kind of wondering if Kassadin was going to go ahead and come out to try to kill the Vigar if the Vigar decided to stay. Didn't end up happening though, so it's kind of beside. The dragon's up in 10 seconds, and we'll probably see the blue team head over there pretty quickly. Jace is on his way top because there's a huge minion. Well, the beginnings of a huge minion wave, and the rest of the team's just kind of roaming around in their own jungle for the moment. Corki's getting this red buff, which is pretty big. The dragon is now up. We're gonna see the Zilean go ahead and grab vision control around here. And just kidding, he's actually not planting any wards whatsoever. Does he have? He does. He has that. Oh, engagement happening over here. Vigar gets really low and ends up going down there to the Kassadin. But he does manage to go ahead and burst down the Akali beforehand. Kassadin goes down to Corki, and now they are chasing down the Thresh and Warwick. Warwick goes down to Corki. Down goes Thresh to Corki as well, and now it's a Baron call. It was a Dragon call, but the red team decided to engage. Ended up dying, and now there's really no reason not to go for this Baron. They did ward over this wall, understandably. Gonna make sure that the Tristana doesn't come in and somehow manage to steal Baron. I don't think that would happen. It would be kind of suicidal of her to do so, and it really wouldn't be much of a benefit. But the Baron goes down. Now they're going for the dragon as well. Honestly, why not? They had a team fight. They came out way ahead. They got the Baron buff now. Why not go for the dragon too? Red team is just respawning now, so they're not going to be able to get here in time to fight it off. And honestly, even if they did, I don't think they'd come out of it ahead. They've got so much CC from this blue team. If the red team decides to go in, they get stunned by Veigar, and they're going to have a bad time. Especially if the blue team decides to fight like in the middle of the Veigar stun. That'd be kind of funny. But it looks like the blue team's actually pinging up this top lane to go ahead and fight that down. Veigar's on his way up to possibly go delete somebody beforehand. He's pretty good at that. Don't think about Veigar. But if he goes the wrong way, he's going to get picked up by a ward and get closed up. Not going to happen, though. He's headed down to his ally. He's going to go ahead and go for that instead. We'll see where they go. They've already got the... Actually, the inhibitor's about to respawn here because there's no supers here. Right? Right? Interesting. Alright, anyway. Okay, there it is. Yeah. It's going to respawn right about now. They're also going to go ahead and head to this top lane. Red team's not going to be able to defend it either. So they're going to be able to get two inhibitors pretty much right at the same time. Down goes this one. This one just respawned. They're going to go for it as well. And it should go down without a fight at all. This may be the time for them to go ahead and go for the end here. Nice stun lands onto Caston. Caston goes down. Thresh hook lands. And there is another big fight. Akali getting really low. Goes ahead and Zonya's to survive this. Jace getting really low. He does have the Zilean ulti, so he probably should have stayed in. Instead, he's going to waste that Zilean ulti. And not going to get too much out of that. So that was pretty unfortunate that he decided to flash out there. But still survived, so I guess it's not too bad. But it definitely would have been preferable. For the Zilean especially, had he gone ahead and died. Which is kind of unusual to say, but whatever. Warwick, I'm not sure you want to go down there, man. You're going to have a bad time if you do. Oh, man. Veigar says hi. Warwick gets hit for the stun there, and actually doesn't get chunked too hard. Warwick's pretty tanky against that Veigar. Yeah, he's got the Spectre's Cowl and Log of the Iron Solar. He's pretty nasty versus Veigar right now. Gonna be forced to back off, though, because the entire enemy team's here, except for Jace. Jace is on his way out. He had to go back and heal, but the red team has a lot of people top at the moment. The Thresh and Tristana both going for these minions, and that's giving the blue team the opportunity to go ahead and go for this inhib turret. I don't know that I really agree with the decision of the Thresh and Tristana. They lost another tower for absolutely nothing. Caston forced to jump out there. He's got his ult. It's fine. He'll come back up soon. The Akali's on the run. She's getting really low. In goes the Corki, wanting to finish that off. Tristana was able to finish off the Veigar, but it's actually a pretty good running fight here. In goes the rest of the blue team on all of these guys. The Warwick getting really low. He goes down. Double kill the Corki there. Caston forced to go ahead and flash out. I think he's going to go down to Jace. And yeah, he does end up going down exactly to Jace. Tristana doing a ton of work back here. Forces the Cho'Gath to run, but he's still going to be fine. In goes the Corki, going for that Tristana, able to go ahead and finish her off. The kill actually goes to the Zilean, and that is an ace. That's going to be this game, and it ends up going to Crumbzz and company, so nicely done there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Okay, apparently we're going to recenter over to here now, and I will see you guys next time. Good to see Crumbzz again. Hopefully we will see lots of him in the next LCS, and maybe some jungle Cho'Gath. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.